Fitness and health is about so much more than exercise and proper eating. It is a catalyst for change and affects every other aspect of your life. This is the philosophy of my guest today, Tash Weddle, the owner of TNB Fitness and also a founder of the New Beginnings Center, where she works with low-income women and transforms their lives through holistic coaching and training. I'm Tajci. At 19, I was a superstar and I was lost inside. I left it all behind, switched continents, and started all over. Years later, I found myself lost again, this time in the American dream. This is a story about awakening, about living the life you were created for, about going inward and discovering the joyous and purposeful person you and I are both meant to be. This is Waking Up in America. So much about how we feel about ourselves is connected to our physical self. Oftentimes, it's easy to get unmotivated to exercise, to move, and yet it's that physical activity that our bodies need in order to produce the hormones that make us feel good about ourselves and also to be healthy. Ever since I started this show, I wanted to have a guest that will talk about this, how to create a turning point at which we say, yes, tomorrow I'm starting to take care of myself and my health. I'm so excited and honored to have Tash Weddle. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So you're, how would you introduce yourself best?
I'm a coach.
You're a coach, not a life coach.
I'm an all kind of coach. What I do, you can't just say it's nutrition coaching. You can't just say it's fitness coaching, because I'm helping people live their best life. However, I can help them do that.
I'm so glad you're saying that, because oftentimes, you know, coach is a fitness coach or, you know, or a life coach, and then there's no connection. Mm-hmm. So let's start. Give me, I want to know your background. What, you know, how did you come to be who you are today?
Well, I started out on a basketball court in Indiana, shooting baskets in 4th grade, and I did grow to be 6 feet 2 tall, so basketball was my destiny.
Yes.
I got a full scholarship to play in college, and unfortunately though, before I went to North Carolina State to play, I blew my knee out, tore my ACL. And it's important to note though that basketball was my identity. I spent so much time, it was my passion, it was all I ever thought about. And going to NC State injured meant I had to sit out for a year. I had to have surgery, I had to sit out for a year.
And give me the age at that time.
I was 18.
Yeah, that's a time when you are changing.
It's a major transition, yes. I come back from that surgery and I do it again. And long story short, I had 3 knee surgeries in less than 2 years.
Was basketball your dream?
It was. It's really what I wanted to coach. It was all I ever wanted to do. Probably so much my identity that it wasn't healthy. You know, and I think it was a gift looking back now, those injuries, because it forced me to go through this transition to rediscover myself. Who am I really?
Yes, and we had many guests on our show that get stuck in that identity of their passion. And then, like you said, you get to a point in life where you don't know who you are.
Absolutely, that's how I felt, and I was depressed. I couldn't make myself get out of bed, I couldn't go to class, and I started using food. Emotional eating. I went from the end of my freshman year, I was about 140 pounds to nearly 200 pounds by the end of my sophomore year. It was bad, and I was miserable.
What kind of food were you eating?
Just junk food, just self-medicating. You know, I'd go to the gas station, get whatever, and just try to, you know.
Were you aware that you were distracting and numbing?
Oh, absolutely, but it was an addiction. And, you know, another gift, though, that I went through that, because now with the women I work with, I have walked in their shoes. I see that it's a very common thing that women have emotional eating.
Did you feel, I mean, you spend your whole life, everything you know is exercise, regimen, discipline, and so that must have caused a lot of confusion inside of you.
Oh yeah, incredible guilt and shame. Yeah. You know, I was an athlete, and you know, I think I just got so sick and tired. I realized that there was nowhere else to go. The bottom, I had hit the bottom. I didn't want, you know, to be in its body. I just wasn't comfortable. I wasn't happy.
Was that one day you walked into a bathroom and said, oh, I don't want to be in that?
No, I think it was a building up process that eventually, you know, I believe that people change for two reasons. One, you're sick and tired of where you're at, and you're really so sick and tired you're ready to do something about it. And the second reason is that you do something that feels good and you feel successful at, and you want that feeling more. And that's exactly what happened for me.
We're talking to Tash Weddle about the turning point that happens when we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then we'll find out when we come back what that transformation brought into her life. Here we are with Tash Weddle, a coach, a holistic, a whole person coach.
Yes.
Both body and mind and spirit.
Yes.
How beautiful. So we're at the point where you grow up as an athlete, your dream is shattered when you have the injuries, and then you start eating, emotional eating, which becomes an addiction, and you wake up, which you thought was overweight.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happened? What are the steps that you took?
Well, I was dealing with my injuries at the time, and so I walked into the weight room on my own. When you're on a basketball team, you're supposed to go work out with the team, but I went on my own, and I just liked the way it felt. I'm like, this is where I'm going to fix this. This is where I'm going to heal myself. And I did, and I
imagine, sorry, being a musician, I imagine you walking into a gym late at night and some beautiful music playing, and there's Tash picking up a weight. Was it like that?
Well, there usually is music playing in a weight room.
That's the only way how I would do it if it was a movie. But I'm asking is because, you know, that moment is so hard for most of us.
Absolutely. It is so hard to take the first step. It's the hardest step to take.
But you made it.
I did.
And you found a different kind of satisfaction in strength training?
It was empowering because I could be successful still. I mean, even though I wasn't able to play the sport that I loved, basketball, I was able to set goals and achieve them. And I'm very goal-oriented, and I just found my match. It was also, I was always challenging myself, you know, not competing against someone else. And that's what I needed at that time, was just, you know, to deal with myself. Wow,
yes. So once you're dealing now with yourself, is that where your identity is restored? Because you're still immersing yourself in just a different kind of athletic activity.
Yeah, well, I did. I loved it so much. I transferred schools. I had a great strength and conditioning coach and continued to play basketball and finish my career, but I was inspired so much by my experience in this coach that I chose to become a collegiate strength and conditioning coach for my career. And I did that for 17 years. And I would say that, yeah, I had another, you know, that was my identity again. Yeah, I work with college athletes, you know, this is an important job, you know, and it is important.
But and it's a beautiful job too, sounds like.
We all get caught in our bubbles, you know, our little bubbles, so.
Especially when we have success, like you said, yes.
Yeah.
So then what happened?
Well, so then, in my 17th year of doing that, I realized there's a whole world out there, and I don't know anything about it. And I'm really tired of living in this bubble. It was not gratifying work for me anymore. It was all about wins and losses. It was, you know, ups and downs. I lived from season to season just waiting for a break at that point. So I realized I just needed to do something else. And so I have taken my skill set and chosen to start the New Beginning Center, which is a nonprofit that helps women.
Yes, and when we were preparing for this conversation, you mentioned you had a friend that was instrumental.
Yes. Yeah, so I had all the knowledge I needed in exercise, nutrition, and coaching, and, you know, behavior change, but I did not have business knowledge or nonprofit management knowledge. And so I had a friend, Chris McCarthy, who was the Habitat for Humanity CEO, and I was her trainer at the time. And so she suggested this and basically got the ball rolling with that.
The reason why I bring this up is because that, you know, I always encourage our viewers to be that someone. We all need that someone to give us that, you know, first coach and then a friend to help us on that point of, make that first step?
That's absolutely true. I mean, Chris, phenomenal woman, but that was such a gift to me, but it was meaningful for her too, to be able to pass on she was retiring, she was passing on what she knew to help it, to carry on that.
The beautiful thing that I notice talking to the guests about their turning points is how once we really awaken to that place from, of who am I and what is really my purpose, it seems like there is always that social enterprise, that giving back, that desire to give back. And my guest is Tash Weddle. When we come back, we'll talk about the New Beginnings Center and her work with low-income women and transforming their lives. Do you feel stuck in life? Are you waiting for a miracle? Would you like to transform your pain and anxiety into joy and freedom? Here's how. The answers are in my book, Turning Points. There are dozens of stories of people like you, people stuck in addictions, abuse, and bad relationships. But they all took that first step. They all went on a transformational journey, and so can you. Visit wakinguprevolution.com, amazon.com, or any major online bookseller. Get your copy and turn your life around today. My guest is Tash Weddle, and we're talking about an amazing transformation that includes body and mind and spirit, which actually every good life transformation does.
Yeah.
So once you find your identity, you're looking for more purposeful life, and you set up New Beginnings Center. And you said something beautiful, that athletes are really good at, as business people or as workers, because you have helped me to say this, time management, goal-oriented, competitive. So tell me about the New Beginnings Center.
It's been in existence now for nearly 5 years. I started our first pilot group of 4 women just to see how this would go. And they did phenomenal. They lost 12% of their body weight. It was truly life-changing for these women. I hit the road. Foundations are giving money to us. We have fundraising events. We have the social entrepreneurship with TMB Fitness. But now we are serving over 380 women a year.
Wow, how beautiful.
And what we do is, it's technically a year-long program where women, regardless of their ability to pay, can receive free training or sliding scale fees. And they come 2 to 3 times a week to our facility. And we go through 12 weeks of nutrition coaching, and we exercise, and we also do some life coaching. We do personal mission statements, we do vision boards, and things like that. So it's a total new beginning for them.
So it sounds like a very different way to coach than coach.
It is. Maybe some people maybe consider it a little new agey, but it's working because we're achieving about 8% weight loss in 12 weeks, in the first 12 weeks, and that's phenomenal. It's enough to reverse type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
And 67% of women either decrease or stop taking their prescription medications.
Wow, that's amazing. So, but you still have to, those women have to come to you. They still have to have that initial desire.
They have to have the initial desire to take the first step. We do have 2 satellite locations, and we hope to expand this model in the future. I like women to come when they're sick and tired, and they've tried other things, because then they have a little bit of willingness to listen to me.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes. And I think most of us, have experienced, I've tried this and it didn't work, and I'm sick and tired of it not working. So what do you offer that's different? Like, what concrete steps do you offer?
Well, the first thing is we only work on changing one habit at a time.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Because if you work on one habit, you're 80% likely to be successful with it. As soon as you add a second habit, your success rate drops to 20%.
Let's just repeat that. So if you have one
one thing
that you're changing, you have 80% chance of success.
Yes.
So like, what would one habit be that I can start tomorrow?
Our very first habit is to drink 8 cups of water a day.
Okay.
And I don't let people move on until they're doing that. And then we want to eat 4 palms of protein. And we use the hand guide. And then we want them to eat 4 to 6 fists of veggies. And then we move on to the carb habit, which we want to eat real food that did not go through a factory. And let me back up. Through everything too, it's eating to 80% full.
Right.
And eating slower. So we're eating mindfully. We're working on the mindfulness part through the all.
Yes.
But each week we roll out a new habit. And we score their food logs and give them feedback, and we talk with them, and we find solutions, and we talk about prepping your food at the beginning of the week, setting yourself up for success. We talk about cleaning out your kitchen with all your trigger foods, setting yourself up for success.
Yes.
And just staying focused on that one thing. And it really needs to be like brushing your teeth. You don't forget to brush your teeth. It's a habit.
It's a habit.
And that's really how we want to get these habits ingrained. And it may take years, but they know what they are, and they know the system, and even if they don't follow them 100% of the time, they have phenomenal results.
You know what, I've heard it so many times, drink 8 cups of water and drink, eat protein and vegetables. We've read it so much, and I think everybody knows it. Why don't we do it?
Probably because we have an all or nothing mentality. Diets don't work 95% of the time. There's a reason, because we think it has to be perfect or we quit. And it's, we need to have a mind shift of, instead of thinking I can't have this, or I need to get this out, or stop eating that, it needs to be, how many good things that add value to my body can I get in a day? Let me count the good things I'm doing. Let me focus on what I do need. Let me change how I think and identify me. I'm a vibrant, healthy, strong woman who values my health.
Right.
I eat these good foods. I eat foods that add value to my body. I don't diet.
Yeah, so it's a positive mindset instead of like I was talking to a friend about having you as a guest today, and I said, I'm so excited because I never go to the gym, and so that's like immediately it's that negative. I never do this. I don't do this. I am not good at this. And all these thoughts we have to shift in order to adopt these new good positive habits and have success. See the success. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, and you could change, I don't like to go to the gym, or I never go to the gym, to I enjoy moving my body.
Yes.
And that will take whatever form it should for you.
Yes, and that's another question. A lot of people make that turning point, say, okay, now I'm going to be serious about diet and exercise once they have a medical problem.
Yeah.
And so what we're exploring in this show is how can we create these turning points before that big wake up call happens? What is some of the motivation? Like if I came to you and I said, help me to motivate myself to be healthy.
I think the thing that becomes motivating is it feels really good to take care of yourself. It feels really good to prep your food. It feels really good to get enough sleep at night. It feels really good to do all these things. And a lot of people, maybe even normal weight, come to me, but they don't feel good.
Yes.
They know that something's missing, and it's really not about the food. It's really not about the exercise. It's about a lack of self-nurturing behavior.
Yes.
And that's what I want to be addictive.
But I have viewers who'll say, but Tash, I have kids. I have 2 jobs. I can't, once I take care of everybody else, I have no energy.
I see it all the time, women who have raised their families and have put themselves last. And they're tired and they're exhausted and they're kind of resentful about it. And I mean, I work a lot of hours myself. I just don't buy the I don't have time, because we make time for what we value. And if you value life and living the fullest life that you can, then it maybe just takes some soul searching.
If you value life, take some time to soul search. Wow. We're talking to Tash Weddle. When we come back, we'll have some more awesome wisdom.
Are you planning a live event? Looking to bring inspiration and a fresh approach to wake up your community or organization? Tajci's keynote concerts are transformational experiences that lead your audience to a life of joy, authenticity, courage, and purpose. Book Tajci for your next event now by visiting wakinguprevolution.com.
Tash, thank you so much for all the great tips that you gave us, and thank you for listening to that, to your soul, and following that call to help others. What I really love is that you have your TNB Fitness supports the New Beginning Center. So, you know, I think that would be one of my motivations, to know that with my membership, with my working out, I'm helping somebody else.
Yeah,
that could get me into a gym.
For a lot of our clients.
Yes. So thank you.
Yes.
And we'll have links to your company, and if you ever visit Nashville, come stop by. Yeah. All right, so I have an email from a viewer, Stephanie from Cincinnati. And she says, and this is, I know this is a common problem. She says, I get really depressed about my finances. And when I'm depressed, I eat. And when I become unmotivated to exercise. How can I stop the cycle?
I would say that next time, have a plan of just pausing. And even if it's breathing, 5 breaths. And it doesn't even mean that you have to change your behavior, but you just have to ask, what am I doing this for? What do I really want?
You know, one thing that I advise my coaching clients is to practice this when times are good. You know, to kind of like adopt this practice. Okay, now I want to eat candy. Well, you know, and I'm not depressed. I'm going to change that behavior, have a plan, breathe, and then when I'm in a good place, practice that. And so hopefully you're ready when depression comes.
And when it comes to exercise, it's been shown as effective as Zoloft in research. So it's funny about exercise. When you're depressed, you don't feel like doing it, but doing it would really help your depression. So sometimes you just have to talk yourself into getting to the gym or getting in your gym clothes. And by that point, you're good. You're going. 5 minutes in, you're not going to stop.
Yes.
And nobody ever regrets going to the gym.
All right, let's do one-word answers.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. What brings you most joy?
My dogs.
What scares you the most?
Failure.
What are you most grateful for?
All the opportunity and love in my life.
One thing you'd like to be more of?
Easy going.
What is your biggest challenge?
Getting around my own self.
Last book you read?
All the light we cannot see.
I believe in?
Love.
All that our world needs is?
More love.
If I could abolish anything from the earth, it would be?
Fear.
Favorite sport?
I don't like sports.
Oh.
I spent all my life in them.
Favorite local charity?
The New Beginning Center.
Who do you want to help most?
The people that are willing.
Fruits or vegetables?
Vegetables.
Oh, please. Europe or Latin America?
Europe.
Sushi or Mediterranean cuisine?
Mediterranean.
Shoes or barefoot?
Barefoot.
This year I claim?
To be better than ever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is such a treat to have Kat Hunter here.
Thank you.
So when I asked Tash to bring a musical guest, she knew right away who she's going to ask. And
Yes.
I said it would be great if it was your client. So this is why it's such a treat, because I want to know, is this possible?
Yeah, it all worked out. It all lined up. You know, we're ending the end of the 12-week program that we were doing. And so I don't know if she, you know, kind of threw it out there as a, you got to do this. But no, Tash and I have been friends for a really long time. And I just happened to have this song that just kind of fit in perfectly with what she enjoys and kind of where I've been over the last span of, you know, 20 years of my life. Pretty much each verse
And the song?
is its own decade, basically. Yeah, so the song Second Wind, it kind of had a athletic tone to it. You know,
Oh, you mean like the second wind when you run?
like
Which
when
I
you're-
would not have a...
like
Oh
when
my
you're
God.
running and you think that you can't do anymore, and all of a sudden that second wind kind of catches
Yes.
in, and you can push a little further. So it just fit in perfectly.
So what was
glad she
your
asked.
goal, your challenge while working with Tash?
First of all, to complete it. 12
Good.
weeks. 12 weeks is a long time, and it is a big commitment. But she brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of encouragement that just you can't get anywhere else. So when she had the certification and she said, "Would you be interested in doing this program?" I was like, "Yes, absolutely. Sign me up."
So, Tash, when you have a friend, is that harder than a stranger you work with?
I actually did a transformation with Kat many years ago, and I knew her work ethic, so I was like, yeah, you can do this, absolutely, because she works hard. I can count on her to show up, and she's super easy for me to coach, so I already knew her character.
Wow. So do you think other singers, songwriters could do the same thing?
Anybody.
Maybe.
I will meet, the way I coach now is I meet everyone where they're at. And it's not about meeting my expectation, it's about getting a little bit better than you were yesterday, every day.
Yes. And I can't wait to hear you sing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to it. Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
If I had time for the dollars I waste, well, I'd buy myself right out of this place, singing while I eat that Midwell steak. Wish I had more time for the dollars I waste. Yeah. That black warrior rolls right past my home. I'd call my friends, but my friends are gone. Who's gonna hear my brand new song? I'd call my friends, but my friends are gone. Thing is time I hit the road before I get old. Let salt water wash sand off my feet. That coastal air was sweet but brief, blowing me back where I belong. My heart feels clean now that I'm home, and I'm feeling young again. Think I've caught my second wind. Same zip code, but a brand new street. Same pillow, but a brand new sheet. I fell in love with somebody I know, right here at home, right under my nose. Now I can hear the song it's been playing all along.
What can you do to get out of your cycle and create that turning point that will shift you into life in which you'll feel good physically, in your mind, and in your spirit? And how would those around you benefit if you felt healthy and great in your body? And I do hope that you will share this episode with your friends, someone you know struggles with weight or health and could use a little bit of inspiration. Visit wakinguprevolution.com to replay this episode and share it. And there you'll find links and more support so that you can create that turning point in your life. Thank you so much. We'll see you again.
I'm Olga Alexeyeva. I'm the artist and owner of O Gallery. This episode was filmed at my studio at Marathon Village, Nashville. Please visit us at ogalleryart.com. Thank you.